The opening ceremony of the 2023 African Games is just 12 months away. As you can tell in the background, workers are working day and night to ensure this is ready for the competition next year. Out of the 23 different sporting events that will be held for the 2023 African Games, as many as 21 of them will be held at the Boteman Sports Complex. The ultimate question, of course, remains whether contractors will be done in time for the competition. At the moment, construction appears to be at the starting phase, and there are fears work will not be completed in time for the start of the Games. But Chairman of the local organizing committee, Dr. Ofosu Asare, remains confident Ghana will be ready in 12 months' time.
That's the hope of everyone, all of us here, the LOC members, the minister, and I'm sure every Ghanaian is expecting us to finish and be able to host the Games next August, and that's the time. Together with the African Union, we have the timetable for that. That is the hope. We are looking forward to getting the needed funding to get a job going, to get a job done. And the funding doesn't come from us, it comes from government. And recently we might have heard about the 750 million Exim Bank loan that the government managed to secure, the parliament approved, and out of that we are to have 140 million going towards infrastructure. And let me also say that that's for infrastructure. We haven't even looked at operational costs, procurement, and what have you. So a lot of money is involved if you are hosting the Games, and you must be prepared to put in money. You know, if you have money and you are building, you can even build during the day, build in the middle, have two shifts, have workers coming in and all that. And you can beef up your staff and get the work done as quickly as possible. Yeah. So, in my view, if we don't get the money on time, or if we delay in giving them the money, then it means we cannot meet the timelines. And if we can't meet the timelines, then it's going to affect the time schedule for the Games.
I've reassured Ghanaians, both in Parliament, by delivering a statement and that the Games will come on and answer questions. As long as government is concerned, if there is no any force majeure, any major thing like pandemic, the Games will come on. Because we are ready and we are working to ensure that the Games come on, and government is committed to it.
The Youth and Sports Minister, Mustafa Youssef, has an even bigger vision for the Boteman Sports Complex once completed.
What government is looking is not just for the Games, but we are looking beyond the Games, where we have a sports of excellence center, or a center where we can host any international Games. Commonwealth Games have never come to Africa. Is there opportunity that once we finish with this infrastructure, we can even put in bid in the near future for Commonwealth Games? It's possible once we're able to put this infrastructure in place. And the benefit will live beyond just these African Games.
Ghana was awarded the rights to host the 13th African Games back in 2018. At the time, the country conceived the idea of hosting the Games in 3 cities, namely Accra, Cape Coast, and Kumasi. But the African Union Commission, the organization in charge of the Games, kicked against the multi-city approach, preferring to concentrate the Games in one city, in line with previous traditions. In November 2020, after months of delays, government finally announced plans to construct a 50,000 Olympic stadium at Boteman to serve as venue for the Games.
The Boteman structure, whose construction begins today, will be equipped with the following facilities in accordance with international standards, and will be capable of hosting any international competition.
But 8 months later, those plans were shelved, and government instead adopted a hybrid approach that will now see the Legon Sports Stadium serving as the center of the Games. This very spot will be where all of the starting blocks will be, especially for the shorter distance races like the 100 meters. All records that will be set, that will be broken, will start right here. And for now, as you can see, it looks like just sun, with the tracks yet to be fixed. As to when that will be done remains a big question.
I'm very positive because the contractors are on site. We have few challenges, let me admit, because once we had the right to host the game, COVID set in. And that was the main reason why we even adopted a hybrid, because of the timing. Then also, currently, we had a financial arrangement with Cal Bank to raise the funding for the facility, the provision of these current facilities that we are having. But there were a few challenges of Cal Bank being able to raise the funding for the contractors to keep them on track of the timelines. But government have taken steps to make sure that they resolve those challenges and get the contractors complete on schedule. So as long as we get the financing right, we are able to get the funding to the contractors on time, the project will be delivered for us to be able to host the game.
This will be the venue of some of the aquatic activities. 2 swimming pools, one of it a warm-up pool, the other competition pool with seating capacity of up to 1,000 people will be here. There will be 5 tennis courts, including a center court that can seat up to 1,000 spectators. There will be 3 multi-sports halls, which will house indoor sporting events such as basketball, badminton, table tennis, volleyball, among others. But the work that remains to be done here is enormous. The majority of the work on the Legon Stadium has gone into fixing the seats, but vital aspects such as the competition tracks and adjoining facilities remain a long way from completion. Construction on the all-new 8-lane warm-up track has started, and work appears to be progressing steadily. But at the time of Joy Sports' visit, construction had paused. Work is also progressing on the rugby field situated on the Legon campus, venue for the rugby competition in the African Games. The Liman Hostel on campus will accommodate the athletes and will serve as the athletes' village, but even those require major upgrades to meet the competition standards.
I inspect every month just to make sure the contractors are on site. And so far, all the 3 contractors do upgrading the games village because the halls are there, but you need to put certain facilities, heating facilities for hot water and warm water. These are requirements of the games. You need to put air conditioning. Those facilities don't have that. We have to provide that. The contractors are on site. You need to have security. If you go to the games village now, the security fence is done. You need to have a restaurant where they will converge and have. We are developing, so you have opportunity to visit all that. You need to have a medical center where injuries and minor injuries can be treated. All these are things that we are working on, and I'm very positive that we are going to. It's not only Ghana, even Birmingham. If you have an opportunity of going to Birmingham, their facility, they couldn't complete all before the games.
History, the African Games history is replete with occasions where some countries had to shift. Some of the games had to shift to either the following year, 6 months addition and all that. So you have that window in the worst case scenario. We have that window. But because of the Olympics, we are hoping that 2024 will be, we know that 2024 will be very busy.
Of course.
So, but for that, we would have said, okay, after all, there's 2024. What's the big deal if we are not able to finish in 2023 or host it in 2023? But because of that, so it appears that we have our back to the wall, and we must try as much as possible to find money to finish the facilities. Even in the worst case scenario, we still will need money to use for the existing facilities. Let me give you a case in point. The Independence Square.
Yeah.
If you have money, you can put in temporary structures and have facilities there and host the games.
Games village.
Yes. Here, for instance, we need to, if we're going to use it, but we need to have money to also refurbish. You know, the lavatory and all those places. They need a bit of upgrading. And anywhere like Bukom and all those places, wherever even you want to raise temporary structures, you need money.
You do.
Yeah, so that is where the money issues is extremely cardinal. But I have every belief that as a nation, we will not let this opportunity slip by. We will not allow ourselves to be embarrassed. The president has promised us on numerous occasions that the game will come on board and definitely will host the African Games. Who am I to doubt the president?
But outside of the more documented infrastructural challenges, there are other critical issues threatening the organization of the African Games.
A bit about the dispute. The Anorca-UCSA dispute is that during the Moroccan Games 2019, AU signed an agreement with Anorca and UCSA.
Yeah.
In the contract, it did not have any time limit. So in their view, that contract was to cover our games, 2023 games.
And what are the terms of, what are the conditions, the contentious conditions here?
The contentious conditions are simply that Anorca will handle the management and marketing rights of the games.
Okay.
But these rights were given to Ghana when we signed the protocol agreement with them, with AU.
Oh.
And the technical aspect will be handled by UCSA.
Yeah.
Okay, the confederation, of course, and all that.
Sporting federations.
Yes. Anorca hasn't got a problem with we handling the marketing right. We don't also have a problem in ceding out the marketing rights to them because after all, they have been in the game for a while and they have the connections and contact. I mean, if you are doing a business, if you want 10% of zero, it's zero. If you want 10% of 1 million, it's something. So if they can bring in money for us to also have some, that is fine. So we don't have a problem that we are trying.
But AU does.
AU does, because AU doesn't want to ship grounds.
Yeah.
But there's pressure on AU to ship grounds. We hosted them in Ghana, for instance, and Anorca and UCSA were saying that it is no fault of Ghana that
they have the marketing rights.
That they have this, that they have this problem because they didn't sign. They haven't signed any.
Sign that contract.
So because of that, they didn't want to do anything that will impact adversely on the games. You know, when two elephants are fighting, the grass suffers. So they were prepared to also shift grounds a bit. They came out with a proposal. AU stuck to its grounds, and that is where the problem is at the moment. But now they are shifting grounds. They are arranging for us to meet, hopefully very soon, next month. There are 2 meetings lined up. They've been able to get somebody who will be refereeing the meeting and all that.
So why is there a fight then?
No, the issue here strictly is that AU has constituted a technical committee.
Yes.
Called the Technical Committee for the African Games.
Yes.
And the two bodies are saying that they were, if you look at the protocol agreement, they will have to send in reps, but they don't have reps on it.
Yes.
AU said they invited them, they didn't show up. They didn't bring their, so the issue is how to get these technical resolved. Who is to go on this technical committee? Who is to head and all that? Because
the technical committee is working directly with Accra 2023.
The technical committee works with the LOC and
yes.
Because if, for instance, we are going to we're coming in for say football, obviously CAF has a big.
It's very important.
Yes, if you're coming in for athletics, obviously the technical people. They will have to bring officials, you know, to make sure that the if you set a record,
of course, they provide officials.
They provide the officials.
And ratification of records.
For instance, even boxing. Boxing, we don't have any official.
Yeah. It is clear infrastructural challenges are not the only issues impeding the successful organization of the Games. And stakeholders have just 12 months to be ready. Maybe 12 months may seem like a long time for many, but for many athletes around the globe, it looks like a daunting task. But until then, all we can do is hope. From the Boteman Sports Complex, I'm Fentio, Tahiru Fentio, for Joy Sports.